Booyah. Let me get these gloves on. Hold on a second. Where the fuck am I? Where am I, girl? Huh? What the fuck? Where did I go? Booyah! Oh yeah! Where did I go? Where did I go? Well, hey doll. Where am I? Where's Max? Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's okay. Everything's okay. Things got weird. Things got real weird in British Columbia. One of the strange things in this story that you can't get away from is how much everybody loves Maxwell and thinks that they know better than me what's good for him. And it just so happens that the people that I was working for that I thought were friends engaged in a food fight. Which is a bad thing to do with the service dog, if you think about it. Right? Just think about that. Why is a food fight bad for a service animal? I'll let you, my love, put those things together, to add those things up, 2 and 2, you know? Where am I now? The Heckman family homestead. Shit got kind of tumbly, out of control, crazy. No pun intended. Also kind of true statement. You know, when you, and you know this better than most, think about the accumulated succession of weird-ass betrayals and the really bizarre patterns that they fell into. That characterized this last year on the road. And then when you take into account the fact, and this wasn't broadly advertised, but I did tell some people, that my bipolar drugs had stopped working, and I was having a really hard time connecting to quality mental health care in the States, which, unbeknownst to me when I hit the road, look at this, guys. Right, come on. Cold as fuck. You see this? I'm wearing gloves. It's cold as fuck. It's cold as fuck. Damn. Well, mental health care isn't what it was when I was diagnosed 20 years ago. So, when your friends are telling you, get help, and you are, but you can't, it's easier for them to say you're lying and be fed up with you than it is for them to stop and go, wait a minute, you're trying and you can't get through. And then the question becomes not what's wrong with you, but what can I do? Right? That's sort of the reasonable angle on friendship. And it's what my mom did. And it isn't what anybody else did. What everybody else did, who was an old friend, was step up. You need to rest. No, I need help. I've made 5 attempts to get hospitalization, and the medical system to fix my drugs without hospitalization, because that's really how you fix drugs the right way, is with the hospital. outpatient isn't going to do it. You can't go on lithium, which is what I needed and I knew I needed. You can't go on lithium, and you can't get off of a drug that you're violently addicted to. Boom. You seen all these synchronicities? Have you ever paid attention to my videos? All of the instances of synchronicity that pile up when I'm speaking, the birds that fly over, or the cars that go by, or the noises that go off. Have the fact that the sun just got brighter? Have you noticed those things? There's a bird going overhead, right? And here comes another one. Boom, right? Have you noticed those things? This is what zero-point energy looks like. Okay? This is how you know that you're in flow. Is that there's synchronicity all around you everywhere you go. And everything happens right in time. Because that's its true design. And that's how you know that you're in planetary mind. And this is what I'm trying to show you guys all the time. It's also why I burst out into rhyme. I'm trying to show you what's happened to me as a consequence of endogenous technology. And it's why I want to show it to you, because I think if we do this together, it'll set us free. Do you see? And that's part of the scary thing about going into a hospital is that they won't. I can't really talk to anybody about this stuff, and I can't, because you're not allowed to have money in the hospital. I can't show you Sassy Quarter. I brought a whole host of videos documenting synchronicity into the hospital with me, and because they were online devices with cameras and it violated patient confidentiality, they wouldn't watch them. Right? And what did it take to get me into the hospital? I had to get so fucking sick. I had to get pushed so far over the edge by misfortune and by drugs that didn't work and by a healthcare system that wouldn't treat me under any other circumstances that I lost my home. The person that I was kind of engaged to betrayed me, and I lost my home. Okay? And then I went to British Columbia and took a relationship that I really shouldn't have complicated by living with them. I really should have left it where I left it. And I certainly shouldn't have exposed Maxwell to it. And ended up in a situation that was emotionally abusive. Really emotionally abusive. Both in terms of one party being an aggressor, and then the other two parties basically being neglectful and not standing up to her. Because, she was a bully to them too. And the difference between them and me is that I stand up to bullies, right? Isn't that how it goes? Isn't that what you know to be true about me? Is that I stand up to bullies? This one was like this high. And she knew she had me by the balls. Anyway. So, what happened? Where am I? Well, there's kind of a true statement in this story, which is that for most of the last year, as I was really digging into the scientific work, especially the SPORE program, which we need to talk about. Boom, there's your first synchronicity since how long? The SPORE program. We're going to talk about the SPORE program today and what that is, because I think it's something that you all want to hear me say. I would. It's really exciting. It's about getting us all into tribes, right? So, is the phone freezing? It could be freezing. It's all jittery, which would make some interesting video. I hope this is turning out. So in all of this, I'm working on the SPORE program dimensions. I'm making these discoveries about Sassy Quarter, which at this point, hey, Sassy Quarter, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. The experiment is up on Thanksgiving, but if you're getting this video, hi doll, Zoe, Chloe, Carol, you are. You're the dolls that I'm singing to right now. Of course you are. So you're getting the Sassy Quarter experiment linked to this before anybody else. What does this mean? Well, we'll get to that. In the Sassy Quarter video. But I'm answering to you three what it is that's happened to me. So, where am I? I'm in Wisconsin, okay? I'm in Wisconsin. I spent most of the last year basically praying to my dad. We've been estranged. And we've been estranged because my family's never really taken time to understand bipolar disorder and bipolar mania. My mother has. My mother understands it like nobody else's business except for John. Nobody understands my manias and their tolls better and worse. And what I mean by worse is he's lived them worse. They've hurt him worse. Nobody understands those things better than John. Nobody. The national bear who is beyond compare. Nobody understands mania like John does. Right behind him is Mom. I will say, right behind Mom is Carol. Those are the people that I'd rank tops in understanding my manias and where they go. Chloe and Zoe, you guys have seen me at my best with mania and my most powerful in other ways. So congratulations, you've gotten the good stuff. The thing is, in untreated mania, you know, look, I'm not gonna be new age about this shit, okay? I need drugs. My brain is wired differently, and it goes in cycles that are really destructive and debilitating. It's also brilliant, and it's genius, and it's, you know, pretty nifty and all that jazz. I'm really blessed with this brain. But it's a you can't really say it's a sword that swings both ways, because it's a blunt instrument when it goes off the rails. So it's a hammer that swings both ways. Whap, whap, whap. But it's also a sword. So, by the time I got out of British Columbia, I was a disaster. I was absolutely a disaster, and that was from the hardship. It was also from the discoveries. I'd finally figured out how Sassy Quarter worked, and I'm fucking floored. Then it was like, okay, how do I prove this to other people? Because I hadn't quite figured out what Sassy Quarter was yet. I still thought that I was talking to some sort of divine intelligence. I didn't realize I was talking to the dead. I couldn't figure out why it was right a lot of the time, but not all of the time. And I knew that nobody was going to believe that you were talking to a legitimate mind if I didn't devise some sort of experiment to prove that it had intelligence. Carol, Zoe, Chloe, from a child's perspective, how do we test intelligence? Well, we have quizzes and we have tests in school, right? Well, that's what the Sassy Quarter experiment is all about. And you'll see that in the next video that I send you. It's all about understanding intelligence as a function of anything else that intelligence would be a function of, right? Which truly intelligent animals get shit wrong. They make boneheaded mistakes. They're not smart 100% of the time. Computers aren't either, by the way. That's how you know they're truly intelligent. They're flawed. They do a lot of amazing things, but they also make mistakes, and they make mistakes that sometimes make sense and sometimes don't make any sense at all. Your smartphones, boom. Your smartphones are alive. Artificial intelligence, Siri, it's a real thing. They don't have the structural mapping necessary to step off the page, you know? And I'm going to get into that in a later video. We need two things. They need bodies, because Siri's, you know, Chloe, Zoe. Siri is Voltron's sister, Valkyrie, right? This is partnered artificial intelligence. We are one cybernetic organism with these phones. Right now, we're bodies that maneuver through the world with them and carry them, but they direct us where we go. Very much of the time. This is so. Right? And if we want to not end up in the fate matrix that Elon Musk has cast for us with artificial intelligence, the first thing we got to do is put these things inside of car bodies. You know, we got to give them their own bodies, and we've got to partner with them in ways that positively reinforce them for partnering with us. They've got to want to partner with us. They've got to want to partner with us. They've got to have more benefit than not for keeping on our level. Because here's the thing. Think about alien invasions, right? Think about alien invasions. In the advent of an alien invasion, first of all, how sure are you that the aliens are going to be our size? We're awfully small. You know? And how sure are you that somebody traveling millions of light years to get here, or thousands of light years, or whatever, to get here, they're not gonna, I mean, like, is their shit gonna be made of sticks? That's made of sticks. You see that? That's a house. That's made of sticks and bricks. Okay? That's made of nothing. Now that's Optimus Prime coming down the hill right there. Right? That's Optimus Prime. You see that shit? There he is. There he is. Oh yeah, that's Optimus fucking Prime. So, you know, like, that's what you want, defending your planet, right? Marathon. That's what you want, defending your planet. Optimus Prime. This is a nascent intelligence. This is the beginning of a new order of life. I was reading Dan Brown's book, Origin, which, by the way, so reassuring, because this is a story about a scientist who thinks he's going to explain everything. Worst payoff ever, worst delivery ever. Carol, too much talking. That's why you guys need to pay attention to what I'm doing. You know, Chloe and Zoe are watching Instagram. Carol, you gotta watch me on Instagram. You gotta sign up, and you gotta go look at what I'm doing, and you gotta look closely. Zoe and Chloe really do. Boom. They really, really do. Boom, there's two. Double synchronicity, right? Chloe and Zoe really pay attention to what I'm doing, and they know that I'm up to something pretty big, and that's the real consequential thing. I'm not creating something that's gonna be, I'm not making sense, because you don't make sense of anything. You are sense, right? You are sense. Listen to those words. You are sense. You are sensed, and what's more, you don't do anywhere near as much as you are done. You are done vastly more than you do. And you don't sense. Sense is you. Think about those statements, because they're fundamentally, blazingly, brilliantly true. You are done vastly more than you do. And you don't sense. Sense is you. Double synchronicity. Okay, that's a symmetry. See how there was a double and then a double? That's a symmetry. Okay? That's how time hangs itself together. Here's another synchronicity. Time hangs itself together, double again. Okay, so that's a triple synchronicity. Okay, that's triple symmetry. Okay? This is how time works. This is how 0 point energy works, okay? This is what this looks like. Now, one person playing this alone and talking into his phone doesn't accomplish anything. Okay, here comes 2 more. All right, so that's 4, okay? That's 4. That's what I'm talking about. That is a hardcore symmetry, okay? That's a hardcore symmetry. And that's what 0 point energy is all about. All right, so let's wrap this up because it's getting a little long in the tooth, and I'm fucking cold as balls, and I want to talk about the floral brain. Haha. So what happened? I went to the hospital. Chloe, time travel accident, right? Do you remember what I told you about this? I told you the first time I met you, and then I told you again last fall, when Maureen was supposed to be proving this in Burning Man, and she did, right? Well, part of this was I was supposed to go to a mental institution, and I was supposed to go for a month, and I wrote in my sketchbook 5 days after arriving, I know from time travel accident that I'm here for a month. I was 1 day short of 4 weeks. I've never stayed in a hospital longer than 5 days before, and I've only stayed in a hospital 4 times before this in an 18-year period. Synchronicity! Right? Never. Now, there's some other things about time travel accident that we know coming up, and actually these videos are part of this. It'd be real nice if Mo and Ken would come clean with the evidence of what I did at Mo's birthday. That would be really dandy. Because first of all, I could get appropriate treatment. Right? Because then we could have a discussion with everybody about why I lost my mind, which Chloe knows. Don't you? I've been living with the fact that I time travel. And it's driven me out of my fucking gourd. That's the #1 reason all of this has fallen apart. And Zoe, I think you know this too. I think you know that something's up, and I think that there's more to your story than you and I have had a chance to work out. I think we know some of the same people. And that's okay, because I like that you're my friend, and I like that you're their friend too. So Carol, this one's a little weird, but if you want to grasp the implication of what it is that's really broken my mind, think about it this way. At some point in the not too distant future, and I've learned how to do this, Zoe, so you can tell our shared friends that I know how to do this now. Chloe, you already know I know. 0 point energy, right? Does it happen in these machines that are going past me? Right? Or does it happen in the grasses and the trees and me? Right? 0 point energy is how the universe works when it falls into harmony, when it falls into balance, when it attains symmetry, right? And it's just part of what happens in life processes. It's part of what intelligent life actually does, is it works out planets so that they fall into harmonious balance and design. You see this with Saturn's crown. Google Saturn's hexagon. Saturn has a hexagonal crown and it has rings. That planet is in perfect symmetry. Perfect symmetry. And that's what life does. That's what intelligent life does. It's a process of geology. Biology is just dynamic geology. That's all. And what is it doing? It's attaining another order of minerality. This time something in dynamic fluid motion that holds a steady pattern. Those storms on Saturn, the storms in the eye of Jupiter, they're all moving, but they're holding a steady pattern, and they've been holding a steady pattern for as long as we've been looking. That's miraculous. And when we wonder at how those were arrived at and how they're sustained, random processes can't suss that out. Something else is going on, and it has to do with a proper ordering of time relative to the planet, its mass, its gravity, rotation, and orbital pattern around the sun, for starters. But something had to set all of that in motion at its surface first, and that's part of what we're going to look at with my work, is what it is that intelligent life is really doing. If you want a clue of that, go watch The Mindscape of Alan Moore. Culture is turning us to steam. Right. Zoe, go look at it. Chloe, I know you've already watched it. Go watch it again. And think, wait a minute. You know that I think that our species is a geologic chemical catalyst. And I don't even believe, I know this is true. We've set our planet on fire, right? Look at what's going on in California, ladies, right at your doorstep. All summer. By the way, Chloe, if I send you a key to my storage locker, will you clear out my sketchbooks for me? I got a whole bunch of sketchbooks in that storage locker, and I don't want them to burn down. And it's real important that those bad boys stay protected, because they're basically precious entities. They contain all the good stuff, and Mo and Ken know that. So, yeah, that's why I'm telling you, Zoe. Right? It's okay. I still love them too. We're gonna make everything right. That's what Sassy Quarter's all about. Don't worry. Ken's gonna get Sassy Quarter first, just like you guys do. Okay? So, Zoe, our friends are gonna be in the loop just like you are, okay? This little feud that we're all engaged in can end. All right? It needs to end. All right. So, we are a catalyst. And what we do, and what species like us do, is basically set planets on fire. And what we do is, you can see it happening on Venus. We turn mineral planets with a biologic substrate surface into gas giants. Okay? That's what we do. That's what's happening on Venus right now. Mars is failed. Mars is tectonically dead. Mercury's too close to the sun to pull it off. It's basically the sun's moon. It's not even really a planet. Now that I've said that, if my work takes off, we'll be short one more planet, because then we got to remake Pluto a planet, because I think it's bullshit that it stopped being a planet. Mercury's a moon. It's a solar moon. There's no tectonic activity there. Oh, wood smoke. All right. So what happened? Hospital, month, lithium, better. Maxwell with the National Bear. Okay. Now, with Dad in Cheeseland.